Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Oh Dong. He lived in a small house with his mom. But one day, something scary happened. Some men in uniforms came to their home. They were looking for Hee Dong's father. They said his dad broke a very serious law called the Law of Political Purity. Hee Dong didn't really understand what that meant. But he knew his mom was very scared. She held his hand tightly. The men searched through their house, opening drawers, looking under the beds, and making a big mess. Then, a man came in. He looked just like Hee Dong's dad. But he wasn't his dad, he was his dad's twin brother. Hee Dong called him Uncle. Uncle gave the men some money quietly. After that, the men stopped searching and left the house. Uncle sat down with Hee Dong and gave him a small bill of money. Here, he said. Hee Dong took it but didn't think it was special. It was just money. But Uncle leaned close and said something that Hee Dong never forgot. Money is the most important thing in the world. Your father is gone because of money. People fight, run, and even disappear because of money. Money is life. From that day on, Uncle stayed with Hee Dong and his mom. He took care of them. He said he would be there instead of Hee Dong's father. As Hee Dong grew up, he and Uncle started doing things to get more money. But not in the normal way. They didn't work in shops or offices. They took money from people, from places. Uncle called it collecting, but really, they were stealing. Hee Dong became very good at it. He learned how to run fast, climb walls, and even fight. He got strong and brave. He would often help Uncle during their secret missions. Even though it was dangerous, Hee Dong didn't feel scared. He believed what Uncle told him, that money was everything. If you had money, you could eat, be safe, and live happily. But deep inside, sometimes Hee Dong wondered about his dad, Tae-sok. Where did he go? Why did he run away? And one day, maybe, Hee Dong would find the answer. But once upon a time, there was a little boy named Oh Dong. He lived in a small house. Once upon a time, Hee Dong and his uncle Gwang-sok were on a secret mission. That day, their goal was simple: steal bottles of fancy drinks from a warehouse. They moved quickly like shadows in the night, tiptoeing and whispering. After lots of sneaking, running, and lifting, they finally got the bottles and pushed them all the way back to their small house. Both of them were so tired. Their arms hurt and their backs ached. "Let's rest a bit," said Uncle Gwang-sok. But just as they were about to sit down, bang, 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 the door flew open. The crime officers were there. "Freeze," they shouted. They rushed in and grabbed everything, especially the little notebook that Uncle always kept. Hee Dong never paid much attention to it. He thought Uncle just liked writing. But it turns out, that notebook had every detail of their past missions, dates, places, items, even how much they made. "I only wrote it to sharpen my brain," cried Uncle. But it was too late. That book was the proof the officers needed. And just like that, back to jail they went. Again. Hee Dong and Uncle Gwang-sok were already used to it. Jail wasn't fun, but it wasn't new either. Then one day, something interesting happened. There was a man in jail who everyone whispered about. They called him the Stray Cat. But his real name was Mr. Song. He was important in the world of old treasures, antique business. He looked cool and quiet, and people respected him. One afternoon, Hee Dong found himself talking to Mr. Song. Uncle Gwang-sok watched from afar. "You know him?" Hee Dong asked later. "Of course," said Uncle. "I told you about him before. He's smart and dangerous, and rich. I once helped him with a job." Then Uncle said something funny. "I'll ask the guards to move me into your cell." "You don't have money," Hee Dong teased. "I'm the treasurer in my cell," Uncle grinned. "Money always listens when you talk right." And believe it or not, the next day, Uncle was moved to Hee Dong's cell. He really did it, but just as he arrived, Mr. Song was being released. Before he left, he leaned close and whispered to Uncle, "When you two get out, call me. I have a small job for you." Uncle smiled wide. "That's our next big chance," he told Hee Dong. Because Gwang-sok wasn't just clever. If someone wanted to start a business, he could find everything. The building, the money, the workers, anything. He was. Once upon a time, Hee Dong and his uncle Gwang-sok were on a secret mission. That day, One day, after many days in jail, Uncle Guangsak and Hee-dong sat side by side on a bench. They were free again, but they didn't have much. Just their clothes, a few coins, and their wild dreams. Uncle Guangsak, as always, started talking about business. I have a plan, he whispered excitedly. Fake drinks. We make them, sell them, and boom. 50% profit, but Hee-dong rolled his eyes. Uncle, we don't even have a truck to move the bottles. Then get one. Guangsak said. Use muscle, use people, use something. I don't want to lift heavy boxes, Hee-dong replied. That's not the life I want. Guangsak grinned. Fine, then marry a rich old lady. You've got a handsome face, it's your asset. Use it. Hee-dong shook his head fast. No way. Forget it. You see, Hee-dong already had someone special. A girl he loved with all his heart. He dreamed of marrying her once he was free and living a quiet, happy life. But when he finally got out and called her, something was different. They met at a cozy little restaurant. She smiled, but not the same way as before. Then she said the words that broke his heart, I'm getting married. What? Hee-dong whispered. I met someone else, she said gently. He's kind. He treats me well. I waited, but you were gone too long. You need to fix your life, Hee-dong. His hands started shaking. She looked at him with sad eyes and asked, Tell me, did you ever give me something real? Something true? Hee-dong stared at the table. He couldn't answer. He lifted his drink slowly and took a small sip. He felt something inside him crumble. Then, quietly, she removed the ring he had once given her. She placed it on the table. I'm sorry, she whispered. And then, she walked away. Hee-dong sat there, frozen. The world felt so quiet. Everything he had believed in, money, plans, clever tricks, felt empty. For the first time, he wasn't thinking like Uncle Guangsak. He was just sad. And he wondered, was there anything real left in his life? To be continued? One sunny afternoon, Hee-dong and his uncle Guangsak were walking side by side, heading toward a place called Mr. Song's antique store. As they walked, Uncle Guangsak looked at Hee-dong and asked, So, your girl's getting married to someone else? Hee-dong sighed and nodded. Yeah, she said I should fix my life. Uncle laughed a little. Well, that's what happens when you date a college girl. You know they talk about books, big ideas, politics. You didn't even finish high school. How are you supposed to keep up with that? Hee-dong didn't argue. He knew Uncle was partly right. He just stayed quiet and kept walking. Finally, they arrived at Mr. Song's antique shop. The front of the shop was small and a bit smelly, like old paper and dust. The items near the door looked boring and cheap, just old teapots and broken picture frames. But then Mr. Song smiled and waved them in. Come to the back, he said. They followed him through a curtain, and, wow! The back room was full of amazing things, shiny statues, golden clocks, ancient swords, and pottery that looked like it came from a royal palace. This is more like it, whispered Uncle Guangsak. Mr. Song sat them down and began talking about a new job. There's something special I want, he said. Someone found old pottery, maybe very valuable, but they dropped it in the sea. I want you two to get it for me. He smiled calmly. I'll pay you 400,000 won. Hee-dong's eyes widened. That was a lot of money. But why us? Guangsak asked. Why not real treasure hunters? Mr. Song just chuckled. It's just some pottery. I like collecting. That's all. But it's old and probably fragile now. Be careful. Then Mr. Song looked at Hee-dong. Come to my house tonight for dinner. We'll talk more. But Hee-dong quickly said no. He didn't like visiting Mr. Song's home. Why? Because Mr. Song always talked too much about his kids in school, his sick daughter with TB, and his long diary writing habit after every meal. Still, Hee-dong had no choice. It was part of the job. That night, they had the real talk. Mr. Song had asked Uncle Guangsak to dive for the pottery himself. Why me? Guangsak asked. Why not divers? Professionals? Then it hit them. He's hiding something, Guangsak whispered. There's probably a lot more pottery down there than he's saying. No one knows how many pieces. That's when they made a plan. They would secretly keep a few pieces for themselves. Mr. Song would never know. The next day, Hee-dong was sent on a mission. Go to Mokpo, uncle said. Find out everything you can. And just like that, a new adventure began, one filled with secrets, sea treasures, and a clever little trick. To be continued. The next day, Hee-dong had a mission. His uncle Gwang-sok had told him to find the third cousin's son. That boy might know something important about the missing pottery. So Hee-dong walked and walked until he reached a small shop. He asked the shop owner, "Is the boy here?" The owner shook his head. "He only comes at night. Around dinner time. You'll have to wait." So Hee-dong waited and waited. While sitting outside, he talked to a few people. One of them was a friend of the cousin's son. They all said the same thing. "We've already searched and asked everyone. Nothing's hidden. We thought that pottery was junk." That night, when the cousin's son finally showed up, Hee-dong confirmed what he heard. Then he called Uncle Gwang-sok using a public phone. "I talked to everyone," Hee-dong said. "They already knew about the pottery. They even dug around. No one hid it. They thought it wasn't valuable." "What?" shouted Gwang-sok through the phone. "You mean all this trouble was for nothing?" But Hee-dong stayed calm. "It's not that bad. They just didn't know how special the pottery is." Suddenly, Hee-dong felt a presence behind him. A girl was standing there. She had been listening. She smiled and said, "Buy me sashimi." "What?" Hee-dong blinked, confused. "Why should I buy you sashimi?" The girl crossed her arms. "Wow, so cheap. Are all Seoul guys this stingy?" She turned to walk away. But then Hee-dong shouted, "Wait. Okay, I'll treat you, but help me with something first." The girl spun back and smiled slyly. "Those guys you talked to earlier? They asked me to follow you. They said I'll get 1,000 won if I spy on you." Hee-dong's eyes grew big. "What? Why would they care?" She shrugged. "Because of that pottery. They're all looking for it now. I guess it's not so worthless after all." Then she added, "So, how about that sashimi?" But just as they were about to go, a group of men walked up to them. One of them pointed at the girl and shouted, "Sonia, you're with another guy?" He turned to Hee-dong. "Don't touch my girl." Sonia rolled her eyes and stomped away angrily. She walked straight back into the shop, muttering, I just wanted sashimi." And just like that, no sashimi for anyone. Hee-dong sighed. This trip is getting weirder and weirder. To be continued? The next morning, Uncle Gwang-sok went to visit Mr. Song's antique shop. But the shop was closed. Just as he arrived, he saw a man sneaking near the door. It was Mr. Han. He looked left and right, then carefully slid a small note beside the doorframe. Gwang-sok pretended not to notice. "Good morning," he greeted cheerfully. Mr. Han jumped a little, surprised. "Oh, good morning." Then Mr. Han quickly walked away. Once he was gone, Gwang-sok picked up the note and read it silently. "Come at 7 a.m. to see Chief Cheon." "Chief Cheon?" Gwang-sok whispered. "Who's that?" The next morning, Gwang-sok did something sneaky. He followed Mr. Song from far behind. Mr. Song entered a tall building and went up using the elevator. Was it the 6th floor? Or the 12th? Gwang-sok wondered. He guessed wrong, ended up on the wrong floor, and got back into the elevator. Inside, a stylish woman stood next to him. She glanced at him with curiosity, like she recognized something. What Gwang-sok didn't know was, she was Chief Cheon's new wife. Later, Gwang-sok finally reached the right floor and spotted Mr. Song coming out of a room. He had just finished meeting with someone, Chief Cheon. Gwang-sok waited near the exit. When Mr. Song came down, Gwang-sok stepped in front of him. "Is our friendship just a joke now?" he asked. Mr. Song blinked. "What are you talking about? How much is the real value of the Shinin pottery?" Gwang-sok demanded. "Don't play games." Mr. Song looked nervous. "Let's talk somewhere else." They moved to a quiet corner. Mr. Song confessed, "At first, I didn't know how valuable it was. I was just taking a wild chance." "But now you're selling it to Chief Cheon?" Gwang-sok interrupted. "I know everything." Mr. Song was surprised that Gwang-sok had figured it out. "Okay," he said, "this isn't about real or fake. Chief Cheon wants all the pottery. However many we find, he'll buy it all. What if we find just a few? Asked Gwangsok. Mr. Song grinned. That's why I have a backup plan. I planted 300 fake pots in a fish farm 6 months ago. With time, sea cucumbers and coral made them look 300 years old. Gwangsok smirked. Then do it right. Hire real people. Let's go big and split big. Mr. Song thought, then nodded. Back at the shop, he handed Gwangsok a thick envelope of cash to start the job. But bring another grown man with you, he said. Also, one more guy will join you. He's someone close to Chief Cheon's wife. Who was this new person? What will happen next? Find out in the full story, only on the official site. The title is Low Life. To be continued?